Well, hello and good afternoon from the insanely beautiful island of Bali. In this video, we'll be seeing what it's like to stay at a local hotel surrounded by rice fields versus this Hyatt hotel over on the east coast that's facing out into the sea. Along the way, we'll explore each accommodation and its surroundings while diving deep into the heart of Bali and its rich culture. From an unforgettable Gamelan lesson to being welcomed by a unique village, I could really only describe my experience as unlike anything I've experienced before. But don't forget, this is a competition and we can only have one winner. So let the games and the cultural adventure begin. The first place I'll be staying at is called Puri Sundaram. In English, the name translates to beautiful palace or beautiful castle. It's a small family-run villa tucked away in a calm corner near the village of Mas, which is just outside of the more well-known town of Ubud. This part of Bali is known for its woodcarvers, artisans, and artists in general, really. Generations of families have passed down their crafts here. This very locally run establishment consists of 3 villas, and they've got their own swimming pool right there. I'm staying in this middle villa, and it's pretty cool. Everything is made out of wood here, except for this brick wall, so it's got very, very rustic Bali vibes, you could say, I think. Oh yeah, and right by the bed, there's lamps like this. They kind of have that, I don't know, crystal healing vibe or something. Not my area of expertise, but I think that's what it is. And then here is the bed with a mosquito net, because there are plenty of mosquitoes here, so you gotta close it at night actually. And the lamp on the other side of the bed looks like that. Then the closets and all that stuff, it's all wood and all very nice. The only thing that kind of doesn't really fit in with the rest, well, the fact that there's sometimes airplanes flying overhead here. You might hear that helicopter right now, because it's in the flight path for DPS actually. And this refrigerator, which I'm not going to open up because I've turned it off, and it wasn't turned off when I came, it was actually turned on, and it smelled very, very strongly of durian. And if you know what durian smells like, you don't want that in your room, so just leave it closed. Never open that door, never to be opened again, hopefully. And you can see the wooden roof. It's just, I don't know, it's a pretty place. It's very unique too. I've never been anywhere like this. And there's even air conditioning, so you've got some modern comforts if you need them. But most of the time it's pretty cool here. You don't really need air conditioning, maybe in the afternoon. And then here's the bathroom, which is, well, I wouldn't say that it's not modern. It's not a hole in the ground, but yeah, it's not exactly the same as the rest of the room. But it's kind of functional because there's always air coming in there, so everything dries pretty quick. But the shower and the toilet are like, you know, one and the same basically. So the toilet usually gets wet when you take a shower, unless you're very, very careful. Perhaps the coolest part is that you get this whole balcony as a part of the room. And Buddha, some flowers. And I've come out here at the perfect time. The older lady that lives here is actually doing her Hindu ceremony this morning. And she does this every morning, somewhere around, I don't know, 9 or 10 a.m. Right now I'd say it's about closer to 10 a.m. Seems to vary a little bit. This is a ceremony involving the offering of Kanang Sari. In the Balinese Hindu faith, it's a daily ritual, a gift to the gods meant to maintain balance and harmony between the human and divine worlds. Kanang Sari usually takes the form of flowers arranged in a small palm leaf tray. You'll see them all over Bali, on sidewalks, shrines, doorsteps, but every time I witnessed the ceremony itself, it felt like a quietly powerful moment. But the very nice lady that's running the show here kind of insisted that we do breakfast one day in the pool, so I can see that she's already got it set up. Happy wedding anniversary. And we're about to be down there eating breakfast in the pool in the classic Balinese, well, tourist in Bali style. And you know, I've eaten breakfast next to a busy highway with great views of a city and pretty much everywhere else, but never in a pool. So let's go down there and see what this is like. And at this hotel, not once and not twice, but 3 times, they've pointed out that it's our wedding anniversary and celebrated it. And this is so nice. This woman really has some special skills to be making all of these things. And I've got to admit, when I looked down from my room, it looked like some of this might have been artificial, like this was plastic, but this is all just plants. And by the way, these are the folks that run the place, Koming and her husband. These villas have been in their family for a long time, but while dealing with the long COVID period in Bali, they decided to do some work on the villas and open them up to a limited number of guests. Today, their business is thriving, but with only 3 villas, there's never like a ton of people around. In fact, during my stay, I never even saw anybody else use the swimming pool. but a floating breakfast. There was really a lot of variety that morning. Other days there was a separate dining area for breakfast, and that breakfast was good too, but the floating breakfast really went all out. This is a rather large breakfast to eat in a pool, and I think they're going to bring coffee too. Balinese coffee is a little bit interesting because I guess in all of Indonesia they grind the coffee up super fine, so it's kind of actually like Turkish coffee, but it's pretty good. And there are a lot of smells over here in the morning. You can smell they're kind of burning, I don't know if it's like some kind of cane or the grass, but they're doing it for agriculture all over the place, and it smells nice. One thing that people often get confused about the whole area around Ubud and basically all of inland Bali, I guess you could call it, is that you need to like pay to access a rice field, or there's only a few different rice fields that you can access, but in reality they're all over the place. But there are some that are just like set up for tourists to visit, and this one that Living Life Eatery has right behind it is one of those. So I'm just over here stopping actually just to have some lunch because I'm super hungry. But the huge rice field is definitely a nice addition to a nice lunch. I must say the prices are a little high at this place, but it looks like the quality is also going to be on point. And technically, if you wanted, you could go sit at this table, but I just didn't feel great about doing that, where the server would have to bring everything back and forth all the way through the rice fields. So I might just go sit here before I get my food, and then maybe again after. I don't know. Seems pretty nice. Anyway, this is what a rice field looks like. This is a smaller one, but there are definitely much bigger ones all around. And usually if you just ask the people that are working in the rice field if you're allowed to walk there, they're going to say yes. Like, it is probably someone's private property, but things are pretty open about walking around and using rice fields as paths here, so they probably won't mind. At least that's worked for me so far. I ordered a dragon fruit smoothie, and I think it might be on my table already, so I'm going to head over there and try that. I already know it's going to be good because dragon fruits in Bali are always good. And they mostly use the red ones here, not the white ones, so you get that pretty reddish, purplish color in your smoothie or juice. Actually, it was so good that by the time my food had arrived, I'd already finished it. This is a very refined looking rendition of one of the most popular dishes in Indonesia, mie goreng, which are basically stir-fried noodles with an egg on top. And at this place, for good measure, they include some fried chicken for you. And wow, even though this isn't the cheapest place on the island of Bali, their quality is amazing. It's definitely the best dining experience I've had here yet. And for dessert, I'm going to try something I've never tried in my life. This is coffee with pandan leaf in it. So it's 2 in 1. And usually I hate when people put things in coffee, but I saw it was green. I just gotta try it. And I didn't realize it before I came here, but every morning I've been eating these little green balls for breakfast that are also made from this leaf that I suppose is, maybe it's edible? Maybe you have to do something to it first. I have no clue. Well, that was some really good food. But once you go walk in the streets here in Bali, the second you get off of any main street, it looks pretty much like this. There's usually a lot of motorbikes, but there's pretty much always the jungle everywhere. But right now, I'm going to a very special place because, like a lot of other Westerners, the reason that Bali really got on my radar, probably more than anything else, is because of Bali Gamelan music. The first time I listened to Gamelan music was most likely the first time I heard that there's a country named Indonesia that exists in the world. But the thing is, in Bali, they have a very special form of gamelan, and they're very committed to this music. So I'm very interested to learn something more about gamelan music from a master. But I really hope I avoid these dogs on the way. Basically, if they're not in a pack, I think your best bet is to just not walk too close to them. Don't do anything that kind of entices them, such as, I don't know, carrying a stick, acting like you're going to play with them, or trying to scare them off with a stick, or even yelling at them. But from what I can understand, these Balinese dogs are also seen as a kind of protector of the island against evil spirits or something along those lines. But it is rush hour here right now in Bali, so let's see if I can get across the street. Thank you. Hi. Ooh. It can be a little crazy when it's rush hour. There's all kinds of random stuff for sale on the street, including birds. But I'm actually on this street because I'm taking a little deviation because I don't have any cash left. And a lot of local businesses don't take card here. And for whatever reason, societies, basically every country in the world, seem to accept banks just ripping you off by charging you either foreign transaction fees or just the fee to take out cash from an ATM. And let's see if this ATM is even charging one. Maybe it's not. I got all of this money without paying any fees, but we're almost there. Don't worry. And just a little bit more walking, and I found myself over here with all the Bali Gamelan music instruments. So I'm gonna see what this is like. This is Wayan Rumika. He's a Bali Gamelan master who's agreed to teach me today. Bali Gamelan.
Bali Gamelan, okay?
Lucky for me, he is a pretty patient guy.
This Gamelan name Gong Kebiak. Gong Kebiak. This name Gangsa.
Gangsa.
Gangsa is play 4 people.
About an hour into the lesson, we had a little coffee and snack break, and the learning continued. But seriously, I really learned a lot about Gamelan in just one lesson and even got the hang of some basics. But I think I needed a little more practice, so I'm gonna let the professional show you how it's done. As it turned out, Wayan's daughter Putu was also an expert Gamelan musician. I guess that should really come as no surprise since this part of Bali has a very long history of generational artistry. And one random fact I learned here is that children in Bali are very often named according to the order in which they're born. So, Wayan and Putu both mean firstborn. Wayan is generally given to males, while Putu is generally given to females. But I've stayed over here at Puri Sundaram for 4 days now, and I mean it's been really nice over here. The villa has been a super comfortable place to stay. It's cozy in all the right ways and offers just the right vibe to blend cultural immersion with some proper R&R. After all, right before staying here, I had just visited 4 countries in 4 days. Oh yeah, it was also a great deal. We'll go over prices in a later part of the video. But I am craving some coast, and I found that as you get away from the southern part of Bali, you can get to much less touristic beaches that are looking at least really nice in the pictures. So I'm gonna go check them out in person. And there just happened to be a Hyatt hotel at one of the smaller beaches. So I'm gonna go head over there now, and then we'll be able to compare what it's like to stay at a local establishment like this versus a chain hotel on the beach. But first, I wanna take a moment to thank Surfshark VPN for sponsoring this video. I've been using Surfshark for many years, and I wouldn't even consider traveling without it. By accessing the internet with Surfshark VPN turned on, you put yourself in control. Nobody can take away your freedom by restricting what websites you can access or tracking you in sneaky and unwanted ways. It really doesn't matter if you're traveling in Indonesia or anywhere else in the world. If you're online, you want to be protected. Surfshark enables you to change your IP address by selecting which country your internet connection shows as being from. Just think of your IP address as the same thing as your home address, but for the internet. Without a VPN turned on, your IP address can be tracked and other personal data can be put at risk. Even if you're not traveling, you probably don't want to just share that stuff all the time with your home internet service provider either. And of course, if a website or app happens to be blocked wherever you're traveling, you can access it by changing your IP address with one simple click. And it's really not just about your basic freedom to access the whole internet wherever you happen to be. Surfshark VPN can help you do all kinds of cool stuff to make the internet more useful and more secure. I often use Surfshark to save money on travel deals by searching on different countries' websites. And that's not to mention you can do stuff like watch American Netflix in Bali or anywhere else you happen to be. So if you don't yet have Surfshark, they're not just my preferred VPN because they work great. Today they're also offering an unbeatable deal which you'll find down in the video description. Plus, if you're not completely satisfied, you can always get your money back for 30 days after purchasing. But if you use Surfshark VPN in the many ways I do, I'm pretty sure you'll be satisfied. Head down to the video description to purchase your Surfshark VPN subscription today. The ride over to the east coast of Bali took a little over an hour. On the way, the driver gave us a bit of a crash course on Indonesian and Balinese.
Thank you, Indonesian language. Terima kasih.
Terima kasih.
And in Balinese, suksema.
Suksema.
Yeah.
As we continued to make our way east, the scenery became more and more mountainous. Hey bro, how are you doing? Hi.
Please come to our lobby.
Okay, thank you. This is a 5-star hotel here, 4-star.
4-star.
Oh, okay.
Would you have it?
Hello, hello. Of course, yeah. Okay. Thank you. And you probably expect something like this if you went to a St. Regis or a Ritz-Carlton or Conrad anywhere in the world, but this is actually just a 4-star Alila Hyatt hotel. So it's not really like luxury. You could say it's sort of luxe, but so far it's luxury. Maybe it's just Bali.
breakfast 7 to 10:30 in the morning.
Okay.
Dinner that should be 7 to 11 evening. Last order that should be 10:30 p.m.
Okay, got you.
After that, there is no room service.
Okay.
So make sure your belly full before 11 p.m.
Okay. The only problem is that if you book with cash here, you get free breakfast included. But I couldn't really tell if the breakfast was going to be included when I booked with points. And it turns out that it's not. But that's okay. We'll probably pay for it or go somewhere else nearby. But it seems like there's not that many options nearby, so it might be limited. Anyway, they gave me some drink. Ginger, lemongrass, and honey.
So that's the
okay.
109. So
Cool. Nice. Convenient.
That's our swimming pool in there.
Okay.
Surface time from 7 until 6 p.m.
Okay.
But after 6, you may wait for swimming, but nobody will be look after you in there. Just turn key to the right.
Okay. Nice. Hello. Ooh, this is a pretty nice place, yeah.
We have also the safe in here. You can put anything.
Okay,
Using your own code, maximum 6 number.
got you.
That's for the aircon, for the light, and that's the plug, remote control TV that will be on this box, and spa brochure on this box.
Okay.
And the hair dryer, extra toilet paper, we put it in here.
Okay.
Okay. So that's the bathroom with the shower then.
Very nice. Cool.
Right, so that's all. This is your key.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
So have a nice day with us.
Thank you so
Happy
much.
now check and jump into the swimming pool.
Okay. Suksamat. And I'm not really sure what to say about this place. I'm a little bit shocked because it's the lowest category in the Hyatt redemptions chart, meaning it's 5,000 points. They actually start from 3,500, but anyway, I paid 5,000 per night. I'm staying here for 2 nights. At least for now, because this place looks ridiculously nice. Way nicer than I expected it to be. I mean, I haven't stayed here. You always stay a few days and then find some interesting facts about any place out. But my first impression here is really pretty good. I mean, first off, this room is definitely very stylish. And I don't even hold any status with Hyatt or anything like that. Like, I hold status with a bunch of other hotel chains, but not Hyatt. But somehow every time I stay at a Hyatt, it's like maybe a better experience than some of the hotel chains where I actually hold status, to be honest. They just left some nice fruits here for us. And then there's a full stocked coffee and tea setup, which isn't at every hotel. And there's some live orchids in the room. That's kind of cool. And it's just like a really fully stocked room. But the one place I haven't stepped in is the bathroom, which also looks pretty nice. It is missing a bathtub, but we'll talk about that in just a second. This looks like a functional shower. And to be honest, it is a step up from that last shower that I had, because that last shower, well, this is in the same room, the toilet and the shower are in the same room, but that last shower didn't have a wall dividing them, so the toilet was getting wet from the shower. Yes, and just a little observation about the branding. This is my first time staying at any of the Alila properties, and they have some pretty nice ones around the world. I've seen a few in California that look quite amazing. I just haven't gotten to yet. So I'm pretty impressed by what I've found here so far. But anyway, the reason that you don't really need a bath is because you have 2 bathing options right at your doorstep. There's a pool, and then beyond the pool is the sea. And the fact that they have ground coffee here is like really a nice touch for me. In fact, I'm about to make some right now. I just want to see. Be careful here. They put it in these little packets, but it's still really ground coffee. It's not instant coffee or any nonsense like that. And I've got my coffee steeping now, but in the meantime, I was just taking a little bit of a look at the restaurant menu. And I mean, the prices are nearly like what you'd find in like Europe or the US or something. I don't know. Basically, the cheapest dish you could get here is well over 100,000 rupiah, which is like, you know, nearing $10. And that's not even including the 21% tax and service charge. So I'm definitely going to have to look at some food options outside of this hotel. Though, of course, I came here knowing that breakfast might or might not be included, and then it's a kind of little bit of an isolated place, so I'll have to either order something in like the Grab app or go a little bit further to eat food. And they've got these little fruits, so I think I just want to try a baby banana, because I don't even know what to call this one. Nor do I know what to call this one, but I'll have to try them both later too. It's such a small banana. See these growing everywhere in Bali, at least everywhere I've been so far, all around that Ubud area. Most of them are green right now, but some of them seem to be in season already. This one's ripe. It does have an interesting flavor. It's not exactly what I'd expect from a banana. It's almost meaty or something. Pretty good. And here you've got the pool, which is a really epic pool. I really like this pool, and it's kind of weird because in the middle it gets deep. I think it goes to 180 centimeters. And then on all sides it's much more shallow. Like, I don't know how many centimeters, honestly. I only read that it's 180 centimeters. I can never just guesstimate centimeters because I think not in the metric system so well, unfortunately. But the pool is really a nice place to hang out here. When the spa workers aren't too busy, they come by and give short, free sample massages. And every day, I think it's around 3 p.m., they have a free tea time. In addition to tea though, they always have some nice Balinese sweets, and there's Balinese coffee available. But that's not even where it ends with the freebies here, actually. Every other day or so they have a free yoga lesson, and there's other activities available too. But if you do want to participate, you kind of have to schedule your day a little bit around the activities, but that's just the experience, I guess. And I was supposed to be leaving this room today, but I don't know. I thought I'd stay here just a little bit longer, at least if I could afford it. But when I looked in the Hyatt app, I didn't have any Hyatt points left actually, so I looked in the app and it was like $178, $180, something like that with taxes. So I just went to the front desk and I had a little conversation with them, and they were able to give me a room for another night for $140. Plus they added an extra free breakfast in, so I feel like it's always worth talking directly to people about the price of staying somewhere rather than just booking it in an app when possible. And that's especially so when you're already staying at a place. So right now I'm headed over to breakfast. How it works here is they don't have a breakfast buffet. It's a pretty small hotel with only 55 rooms, and last I checked 16 were occupied yesterday, maybe a few more today because it's a Friday. But if they're able to give me a better deal, there's probably not that many rooms occupied. So you just order a la carte. So I'm just gonna have to decide which dish I want from the breakfast, and then we'll go from there. Try it, nasi jingo. Thank you.
For condiment, this one is papaya jam, this is banana jam.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Most importantly, the coffee is really good. And it's almost certainly from Indonesia, if not even from Bali. All kinds of nice fruits here. And the fact that you get to eat watching this view. And I've never tried this dish before. It's got some kind of turmeric spiced rice. It looks like it must have been kind of steamed in this banana leaf. Or maybe the banana leaf's just holding it. Oh, there's like a little bit of fried noodles in here. I think you're really supposed to eat this with your hands somehow. I have a fork here, so I'm just gonna use that. It kind of looks like they just took a little bit of everything they have in the restaurant and made it into one dish. Let's see how it tastes. There's coconut flakes everywhere. Tofu randomly in there. It's all the flavors at once. A little bit sour. Sometimes a lot spicy, sometimes a little bit spicy. Sweet. Everything. For me, I just take out all the turmeric rice and make that noodles, because I love noodles, but it's still pretty good. And I'm really not sure if I've stressed how insane this view is that we're getting to eat our breakfast in front of. I mean, the waves are just splashing all the time right here. That's just the sea right there, nothing else. And then right over there is a Hindu temple. And location-wise, like, there are only two downsides to this place. Like, the first one is that if you want to leave, you have to go walk on a busy and small road. But the upside is that they have a free shuttle 2 times a day, so I'm actually going to try that in just a second. And then, of course, the second downside is that you can't really safely swim in the water here just because the currents are going every which way. Maybe locals swim here because they know the currents very well and they've been swimming here for years. But for someone just visiting here for a few days like me, don't do it. But the shuttle's about to leave any minute now, so let's get going and see what this little town has to offer nearby. This is the smaller road. That's the only way to or from the hotel. Some of it's walkable, but some of it less so. And here I am, Tenganan Village. Not really sure what I'm gonna find here. I've done zero research. In fact, it was just a last minute decision to come here. And it does turn out that you need to donate some money to enter the village, but I think there'll be something interesting here. That's what the chickens are telling me, at least. That huge butterfly is my first sighting. It's already worth coming here. I have to leave a donation, but they only take cash, which is pretty normal, I guess. 10,000, 20, 30. Basically just leave most of the cash that I have here. They dye their chickens different colors here. Why is your chicken yellow?
It's coloring.
Ah, okay.
It's papan.
It's the style of here? Tenganan specialty.
Yeah.
Ah.
It's a Balinese calendar of Ubud.
Ah. Ah, okay.
It's a material from palm blade.
So this is your specialty. You make
Yes.
a calendar out of banana?
No, palm blade.
Oh, ah, okay, I understand.
Yeah.
Palm tree.
The palm blade.
Yeah.
The grits and the kleinen measure. Yeah.
Palm leaves. Ah, du sagst auf Deutsch?
Yeah.
Ah, wow. Englisch und Deutsch.
In Duit.
Das ist toll. Nice.
In the Parbu Macadamianus Gembrandan.
Bahasa Bali.
Bahasa Bali. So.
Ah, das ist auf Deutsch geschrieben.
Yeah.
Viele Deutsche kommen hier.
Deutsch,
Ah.
Holland, France,
Aus Amerika auch?
Amerika auch.
Manchmal? Japan?
Japan, China,
China? Jakarta?
Jakarta.
Your name?
My name is
Yeah.
Kadek.
Okay, David. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you also.
Suksuma.
No, Ali.
Just walking around here and seeing all of these dyed chicken feathers. Well, the lady said they're naturally dyed. It kind of reminds me of Easter eggs, but with live chickens. But so far I've seen some chickens and 3 different people making bookmarks and calendars out of palm leaves. So let's see what else they have in Tenganan Village. Lithuanian colored chicken? Check. There are some little ducks over here. But mostly this village seems to just be kind of calm. It's a little hot here in the day, so people seem to be staying in the shade as much as possible. But even though this village seems to be very open to visitors, there's this one area where it says, just don't go there. Something like that in Balinese. I can't see what's so bad down there. Maybe there's some snakes. So I didn't go into the forbidden zone, but I just kept going up the hill. And so far I found this tree and this temple. This is another Bali Hindu temple. But all of the gates seem to be locked and shut. So I'm guessing this is more for some specific ceremony that the village down there has maybe once or twice a year or something. The other specialty they have here in Tenganan is honey. And there's some kind of special black bee. It was actually just mentioned to me by the guy that drove us from the hotel. But apparently it makes a nice honey as well. And they keep the bees in these, well, I don't know, it seems like it's made out of some kind of, like 2 coconuts on each end and then the coconut thread in the middle and something inside of there.
One called curry.
Yeah.
One
Curry.
Parmigiana.
Katsu. What's your name, man? Sorry. Are you a guide or?
Yeah.
Ah, okay, cool. French and English.
Yeah.
Ah.
Where are you from?
I'm from the Les États-Unis.
Ah, doesn't
Oui. From Atlanta, Georgia originally. You familiar?
Atlanta.
The South.
We call it Atlanta.
Atlanta. Hotlanta. You know where Ludacris is from? Ludacris. You know, move, get out the way. You know Ludacris? No.
No.
Ah. Okay, I'm from Atlanta. Anyway.
Atlanta.
Yeah. Yeah. What's your name? Sorry.
Coma. You?
David.
David.
Yeah.
I've been there.
Oh, you've been to Atlanta? Really?
Waiting for the Greyhound.
Waiting for the gray? Me too. You're joking, huh?
Yeah.
You really been?
I spent a year in the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah.
Pensacola.
Pensacola, Florida.
Yeah.
Why?
Working.
Oh, okay. The people there, what do you think about Florida?
I took too much sunshine.
So you've been to Florida? You've been to Georgia? Been to New York?
Yeah.
Been to Washington, D.C.?
I did Bronx.
Bronx? Yeah, that's the American dream, bro. And in addition to gamelan, when the wind comes, there's another kind of music here. Hey, are you from these places, or is this the same one? Or it's like 2 different businesses?
It's the same business.
Ah, okay. So just go in either way, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's okay just to walk in?
It's a different house,
Yeah.
but it's selling almost the same.
Ah, double ikat.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. This is double ikat right here? Or?
Yeah.
Ah, nice. All right, sorry to disturb you. And I've just noticed that there are multiple places here that are demonstrating the double ikat weaving style, I guess you'd call it. Apparently it's only one of 3 places in the world where this is actually practiced. And I'm basically just walking into somebody's house right now. Make sure I'm very respectful. Oh my God, this is a very beautiful place. And random, I know. But in this pond, they happen to have what colloquially can be called Wandering Jew. I love this plant. Actually, not just because of the name, but because it's very beautiful and purple. Oh, okay, to take a look around? Okay, okay, thank you. And not exactly gamelan, I guess, but some more instruments. If you give me the choice between looking at stuff, any kind of stuff, and messing around with some musical instruments, I'm always going to be messing around with some musical instruments. What, ooh, dangerous this. Why? Why this one?
It's buffalo.
Barbed wire.
Yeah.
To protect
Yeah.
from evil spirit?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Here is,
Yeah. Looking, no problem.
what's your name?
Nengah Narti.
Nangan?
Nengah.
Nanga. Ah, David, me.
Antique, very old.
Antique, very old. 100 years old.
No.
50 years old.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe 50. You have son, daughter? You? Child? You?
No, only me.
Ah, only you. Ah.
My daughter married.
Ah, okay. She goes.
Husband dead.
Oh, I'm sorry.
This old one.
Antique. Wait. Careful, careful.
Broken.
Hmm.
Angklung this. Angklung.
Angklung. Part gamelan.
Gamelan.
Gamelan. Ah.
Before many gamelan, rantang,
Yeah.
congklik.
Now, no.
Now no. Where you come from?
Born USA, America.
Oh, America.
Live Germany.
Germany.
Germany, live.
I am sorry, me little English.
Me little Bali. Okay.
Okay, no problem. Only looking, no problem.
Okay. Touching. Okay.
Angklung.
Okay.
If you like, I make cheap.
Ah. No, I have an only small backpack. Thank you, Suksuma, for letting me into your home.
Okay.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Wow. Looks like school's out. I definitely wasn't allowed to ride a moped when high school or middle school ended. But wow, it should be a much different life than the one I've known to live here in a village like this. Well, unfortunately, my time checking out this village is about to come to an end, even though this dog doesn't want it to. Because the shuttle only comes twice a day, and the guy driving the shuttle told me that he'd be here right around 1:25, so it's 1:25 right now, and I'm just waiting for him to come. And it's time to go back to my air-conditioned labyrinth behind security gates. Yeah, how are you? Good, good, good. Nice village.
Yeah.
Oh, no other guests using shuttle today?
There are 3 people, but visit other place.
Kandidasa?
Yes.
Ah, okay. And kind of as opposed to other chain hotels, here in Bali, it just feels like, even though it might be a chain, everybody here is from Bali. And it's a small island. And the thing is, Balinese culture kind of means you're going to be pretty friendly with everyone. So, chain or not, just come to Bali. But now that I've experienced a local stay and this chain hotel on the beach, we've got to determine which one is better. And in this case, it's really hard to determine a winner. They're both freaking nice. Some of the best places I've stayed in my life. So let's break it down a little bit. As far as location goes, being surrounded by rice fields is hard to beat. But then again, this kind of ocean view is also very hard to beat. So for me, that's a tie. Woo! And then we've got to take into account service. In Bali, the service seems to be really impeccable. I don't know, I basically never encountered better service anywhere in my life. Maybe in the US, people work for tips, so there's kind of this fake service element, but here in Bali, it's just like next level. But when it comes down to it, that local place and this Hyatt have 10 out of 10 service. There's not that much I can say about it, except service at a chain hotel is always going to be just a little bit less personalized than service will be at a local place run by a family where only a few other people are staying. So for me, the winner in terms of service is actually the local hotel. But if I'm doing this whole thing by score, then I'd have to give the Hyatt 9 out of 10. The only thing a little bit lacking is something they'll never be able to fix just because they're a chain hotel. There's this certain element when there's a corporation running a place versus when a family's running it. Wow. And that local establishment went really above and beyond to help me and my wife celebrate our anniversary at the next level. I mean, they didn't just make one flower arrangement for us or anything like that. They made multiple flower arrangements, even decorated the entire pool with fresh leaves and fresh flowers, and served us a breakfast that usually costs 150,000 rupiah for free, just because it was around our anniversary. So for me, that's 10 out of 10 service. But of course, here in Bali, a really important element to where you stay is the food that they have at the hotel or nearby. I mean, the quality of the food over here at this hotel on the East Coast is impeccable. It's like definitely 10 out of 10. But then when it comes to price, the price is really high. So I guess you could say you get what you pay for, but it still seems a little bit excessive. I don't know. I'm gonna say 9 out of 10. But then Puri Sundaram wasn't exactly perfect when it came to food either. There was a really great cafe nearby, so I went there a few times. And their breakfast was pretty nice, and every reservation just gets breakfast included for free. But the quality of the breakfast over here at the Hyatt Hotel is definitely higher. I mean, I don't know. They're not serving you like white bread and stuff like that here. But then the price is also much higher over here too. So I'd say it's about a 9 out of 10 for both of the establishments when it comes to dining. And then when it comes to the rooms themselves, I mean, neither one of them are perfect. I'll say that for sure. But they were both a really comfortable place to stay. In Puri Sundaram, I would say it was a little bit more au naturel. Like there were some insects getting in the room, but they had this nice mosquito net so you could sleep pretty comfortably. And really the only things that I would say were kind of a downside to the room were the bathroom that was, well, I don't know, you saw the bathroom. It wasn't super great, but it worked. And then the refrigerator, which just smelled like durian. Oh well. But even though the rooms over here at this Hyatt Hotel are pretty nice, they sometimes feel a little bit outdated, and a few of the things are just kind of, I wouldn't call them broken, but there are a few things here that could probably use a little bit of maintenance. So I'd say at both hotels, it's more like an 8 out of 10.
And the last category that we'll be rating these accommodations by is value. I stayed for a total of 4 nights at Puri Sundaram and paid 3,300,000 rupiahs, or $196 and 44 cents. If you break it down by nightly price, that's 825,000 rupiah a night, or $49 and 10 cents a night. A stay at this locally run place definitely includes less than you'd get at the Hyatt, but it was still really awesome value for the Ubud area, plus it does always include free breakfast. I'd honestly still have probably stayed there if they charged like $10 or $20 more a night, so that's a 10 out of 10 for value. And then at this Alila hotel over here, I ended up staying 3 nights in total. For the first few nights, I paid 5,000 Hyatt points each night. I'm really not a huge fan of points valuations, but just for the purpose of this one, you could imagine that 5,000 Hyatt points is maybe equivalent to something like $100. Then for my third night, I paid exactly $140. So for the purposes of this video, we can just say that I paid something sort of equivalent to $340. You could definitely say there are more things included in your stay at this Hyatt hotel, but not having the breakfast included in award bookings was kind of a downside since everybody else got it for free. And if you just wanted to walk up and buy breakfast, it was over $20. Even considering the inclusions, for value it gets an 8 out of 10.
But I think you get what I'm getting at here. Both of these properties are amazing, and I really enjoyed staying at both of them. But based on my rating system and on my gut feeling, if I had to pick a winner, it's that local hotel. They just had some oomph that's maybe missing over here with the water sprinklers and I don't know, super perfect hedges. Because while over here at this Hyatt, you might get to superficially know Balinese culture a little bit, over at that local hotel, it was the real thing. And you just can't beat a nice locally run place to stay when it's done properly. So thanks so much for watching this video, and if you enjoyed it, do make sure to give it a like. Please don't forget about that. It's very important to get this video to as many viewers as possible. And other than that, make sure that you're subscribed to my channel because I have many more travel videos coming out for you weekly.